have so many of my friends that just literally have everything except their health. And I just don't want that. You know, there's a limited amount of time. I'm not trying to live forever. I'm just trying to live well. So this week I'm going to explore some questions that I have about my health, and I suspect that many people out there have about theirs. That's great so far. My father lived a really unhealthy life. He struggled with alcoholism for decades, he was diabetic, he had heart issues, and in the end, he died of a cardiac arrest. We were expecting his death, but he still left my mom, my siblings, and me, honestly, to pick up the pieces. When my friend Dave died of a heart attack, I wasn't expecting it. To me, he seemed perfectly healthy, and that was my real wake-up call. We were in Mexico, and he had a heart attack, and it was a real tragedy, to be totally honest. But on the heels of that, his wife asked his 4 best friends just to really try to, take care of ourselves better, and specifically to start going and seeing a cardiologist.
Hey, welcome back.
Thanks, Ron. Great to see you.
It's great to see you. Online, on X, we saw some interest about statins.
So with Dr. Karlsberg, he is the best interventional cardiologist in the United States. When he discovered some plaque in my arteries, he put me on statins. They're supposed to lower bad LDL cholesterol, reduce the risk of heart attack, and stabilize plaque. But to some, they are controversial. Well, you posted basically trying to do something for cardiac health across all of America, and you tagged me and Bobby. But the amount of commentary in Twitter, or in X rather, was all about whether or not I should be on a statin, and whether or not it was just completely pseudoscience. Look, what I've learned in my career is I could talk about anything. I could say the sky is blue, and there will be opinions that say it's not. So to be honest with you, I kind of ignored most of it, except to say that the few people who were very thoughtful in there brought up, I thought, a very legitimate question. A lot of my followers feel like statins might help them in some areas, but also hurt them in others. That's one of the reasons why I've been coming to Dr. Karlsberg so regularly to help me figure all of this out.
What's the most difficult part of doing all this testing, would you say?
But to be honest with you, it's the cognitive load before you start it. Because I think there's so many incentives, there's little voices inside of many people's heads that says, don't even start because of what you could find. And I do this test every 4 or 5 years called a CT angiogram with contrast. It's basically a way of injecting a dye into your veins and then imaging your heart so that you can see all the arteries.
Breathe in, hold your breath.
What it's also able to do now is image it in such a way where you can take that corpus of data and send it into a machine learning model. And then now you can start to extract an even more detailed sense of what's happening.
That young lady is a perfect study. Absolutely beautiful.
I mean, it's weird when the contrast goes in your body.
Yeah.
I've had it done a couple times before, obviously, but I forget each time. The heart is important, but it's only part of the story. Okay, so what's the plan today? We're gonna go and get a little readout of the pre-nuvo scan, and hopefully everything is, relatively straightforward there. These health tests may seem a bit like overkill, but I feel strongly that people need to advocate for their health and ask a lot of questions. Now it's time to check back in with Dr. Karlsberg and face the music on my heart.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You had a really busy day yesterday, didn't you?
Busy day,
Yeah.
but a good day.
What I'm going to do now is present something that's quite astonishing. You have a 0 calcium score, and you still have a 0 calcium score.
Let's get out of here.
Not so fast. We see that over the 10 years, you had a 370% increase in that material, which means that you are on a pathway to atherosclerosis. But you're one of the few people on the planet that have this kind of information. And you're going to take advantage of it. And so what we're looking at here was a percent change that went from total plaque volume, fell from 24% a year to 10% a year, which is consistent with what we found in much bigger studies. Now, given the first level of tiers, which is listen to your audience and come off the drugs because they're dangerous, or stay on the drugs, the first level of decision on your part based on what you heard is going to be what?
Obviously, we're going to stay on the drug. So,
Okay, that's your decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what I'm hearing from you is we started this statin. It seems to have had a pretty meaningful impact. In all of these other things that we never would have known to look for had this stuff not existed.
Exactly.
So what I'm learning from you actually is a big deal. You've done some good stuff, and that was actually pretty preventative and good, but there's now an even better leading edge for you because you're fighting against a genetic trend that will eventually catch up with you. That's a secret. That's fantastic. I want to know the secret. I want to know the answer now.
There are no standard treatments for you. I think that you could choose to wait. Your calcium score is 0. Your outcome is going to be fine for the next 5, 10 years. Chances of you having a cardiac event are very, very close to 0.
No risk of a cardiac event in the next 5 years. Hopefully 10.
That's my prediction. All right.
You're doing a great service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
All right.
Have a great summer.
Bye-bye.
You know, if there's one thing I've learned through this process, it's that there's no finish line. Honestly, optimal health isn't a destination, it's a journey. But at the end of the day, we all face the same choice. Do we wait until something breaks, or do we start listening now? Starting the health journey can be scary, but in my opinion, I think it's worth it because living well is the best return there is. Well, we're home. It's been a long week. I hope you enjoyed following me around.